Hello viewers, I am Reverjolt and welcome back to the No-sharpen challenge. In my previous video on this challenge, my game kept crashing and it wouldn't work again. But it's thanks to you guys in the comments that I was able to fix my emulator. You guys are truly amazing and I am grateful. So today, we'll be continuing the challenge. If you guys haven't seen the first part, I recommend watching that first. Also, I was pretty close to beating single player anyway, so I decided to put up a poll to see if you guys wanted me to complete the single player story or go straight to G rank. When the day finally came, I decided to check the votes, and it tied and it kept doing that the whole time. So what I'll do is both single player and G rank to finish this challenge. Also, I'm gonna try to be more slow with my speech as I have a lot of comments tell me that I talk way too fast in my videos. So I'm gonna try my best to take things slow and be more relaxed when I record. So with all that out of the way, let's get into the challenge. So I decided to keep farming Seregios, which was where I left off. I had just about every material to craft the armor, but I was missing one piece, the Seregios Disinter. I was hunting maybe 11 Seregios and didn't get it. I was thinking about just going for the fencing tool to get the mind's eye skill, but I found out I can't get those at this point in the game, so I had to keep farming to get the Disinter. After a bunch of farming, I finally got the Disinter and I was able to get the mind's eye skill. And in case you're wondering, the slow sharpen skill doesn't count as we can't sharpen anyway. So with that, our first target is Black Gravios, and I gotta say, apart from the constant fire beam, he wasn't very hard. Although he took long because of the rather tanky nature, plus our ever decreasing sharpness. Next was Azur Rathalos, and other than having to deal with the Seregios, this fight was both hard and easy at the same time. Mostly because I had a strong start, and then later I was cornered a bunch and even fainted. But I came back and won. Brute Tigrix was next, and it was pretty difficult not because of the loss of sharpness, but because of how hard he was hitting. There were quite a few close calls with this one, but I managed to get it down. Also, it was awesome hearing that roar again. After farming some materials for a bit, we are now able to upgrade our Arachnoscale to the Arachnoscale Plus. The sharpness on this will be very useful. We take on Stygian Zinogre, and he was actually difficult. While I did well against him, he also did well against me. He even managed to feint me as well, and there was even a Seregios that showed up and didn't make this fight any easier. I came so close to dying, but I managed to run to the next area to safely heal. If I wasn't wearing this armor, I could have fainted a second time due to bleed, and after regrouping for a little bit, I managed to take down Stygian Zinogre. When I went to hunt a frenzied Brachydios, I used a Y-stone not even thinking that it counted as sharpening, so I'm not sure if it's against the rules. But to be on the safe side, I'm counting it as sharpening, so we have to restart this quest. But other than that, Brachydios was really difficult. When he's frenzied while in rage mode, he hits so fast and so hard. Really hard. And having a Seregios invade mid-hunt didn't make this any better. The ridiculously fast and hard-hitting punches were brutal. However, I was quite surprised my sharpness didn't drop to severe red, so that's good. Next was Frenzied Deviljho, and this one actually wasn't hard. Yes, he hits hard and fast in his frenzied state, but even with my gradually decreasing sharpness, he wasn't much of a problem. And now we have to take on Apex Seregios. He was really difficult due to bouncing off of him even with Mind's Eye. My discharges would get negated, which is something I completely forgot about. So I was bouncing off him for quite a while, but managed to get some hits in. The damage he did though was painful, but even with all of these factors, I managed to beat him. Next was the final boss of single player, Rusted Kushala Deora. Not gonna lie, this was my actual first time doing this particular fight. I got the hang of dealing with Kushala, but I had no clue what I was doing otherwise. I didn't know where to go to activate the Demolisher, and I was running around like an idiot trying to figure out what to do. But after like 10 minutes of fighting and getting confused, I finally got the Demolisher and beat Rusted Kushala. Now while this may be the end of the single player story, it's not over yet. We still have G rank to worry about, so I have to complete all of the low and high rank key quests to access G rank. But there are a couple of things I want to mention. The Elder Dragon quests I had to do to get to G rank, and boy were they hard. First was Darren Moran. This was actually harder than I anticipated due to not only the sharpness going down so quickly, but I had to manage the ship's integrity. This was really difficult despite the hunt being telegraphed and predictable. During the final phase, the ship's integrity was at 30% and time was running out. I had to time the hunting gong and binders enough times to prevent the ship from taking more damage. On a side note, I used the Dragonator and somehow ended up on Darren's horn. That was a funny moment for sure. We barely got this quest done. Not gonna lie, I thought I would fail this one. We now have to fight the Elder Dragons listed in order to progress. This will be painful. First was Kushala Deora. At first, I was breezing through this quest, but when time was starting to run out, I ended the quest via subquest, and then I realized my mistake. I had the option to repel Kushala, and I left the quest thinking that I was going to fail, when in actuality, victory was right there! I completely squandered the opportunity, and then from there, trying to complete it was quite frustrating. I kept failing many times, and it was no fun knowing we could have won. But after taking a break and then coming back, I finally take down Kushala. That's what I get for being so spoiled by Monster Hunter World's lack of repels. Next was Teostra, and he wasn't too bad until he fainted me twice, and from there, it was a matter of trying to repel him. It wasn't easy as I ran out of healing items, but I did manage to do it. Glad I remembered to do this and not squander it like I did Kushala. And now a Cantor. I'll be honest, I was not looking forward to this fight. A Cantor is very well known for easily taking out players. This is due to the major defense drops that he causes when he bites you. I was getting in some good damage in the fight and he wasn't that bad. No! I got too cocky! Just kidding. I actually did fail on my first attempt due to severe defense down. But on my second attempt, I was actually careful this time and won. This actually wasn't as bad as I initially thought. Then we come to a monster I haven't fought in years. Dala Madhur. This was a breath of fresh air as I was reliving one of the greatest hunts of all time. However, that moment of nostalgia was short-lived as this was the hardest part of the challenge. I was doing fine for the most part until I got to red sharpness, and from there my biggest enemy was time. I had to attack him as he was slithering across the map, and that ripped through my sharpness in mere minutes. I would try to attack to break parts, but I soon ran out of time. He has so much health that dealing damage with red sharpness was brutal. Even with the file damage, I would come close to running out or die completely to the meteors, which by the way, were a huge pain to deal with. I was beginning to think this one wasn't possible, but deep down I knew I had to keep trying. So the key was to focus on damaging his weak points as much as possible, those being the head, hands, chest, and back. And I had to use bombs to deal extra damage. After many attempts, I finally just had enough damage to defeat it. This was by far the most stressful, painful, and daunting, brutal task I have faced in any challenge. I must have had less than 5 minutes left, cause that. And the last obstacle before G rank was Ukanlos, which was easier in comparison but still pretty hard. The run seemed to go well until I got one shot and chased down like shark prey. This happened several times. On the second attempt, I managed to beat it when I had 14 minutes left. We now have access to G rank. But that's where I'll have to end it for now. We'll be back next week to do the G rank part of this challenge. I was gonna try to get this done before the week was over, but I just didn't have enough time. Thank you very much for watching, consider liking the video, and consider subscribing and hitting the bell as I'll keep you up to date on my latest videos. Oh, and I have a Twitch channel, so come and check me out on my live streams. Anyways, be kind to one another, and have a most wonderful day.